Hey there, welcome to Be an Engagement Ninja. I will be sharing how I went from being a talking head to being an engagement ninja, leveraging the Mentimeter platform. My name is Kathy Kalesha, and I am the self-proclaimed engagement ninja. Just a quick note, if you are watching the recording of this event, the presentations that I'm sharing with the attendees will not work for you since they are used in real time. So my name is Kathy Kalesha. For those of you that don't know me, Ben, you're too funny.
Yeah.
Zoom is for us and the child inside of us. So I am sharing how to be an engagement ninja. Has anybody heard of Mentimeter software?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ben knows about it. So
Yeah.
Mentimeter, I heard about it way pre-COVID in events.
Mhm.
And I kept seeing, people kept mentioning it and saying, oh, you got to check this out. And I never did. I signed up, but I never did anything with it. I never looked at it. It looked scary. And then I was in, oh, Mike, you're too much. Then I was in 3 different, probably NSA, National Speaker Association events, and I saw different speakers using it. And I'm like, oh,
We're
wait
going to
a
break out
minute.
props, physical
Oh, there.
props.
Okay, there you go. Are you a CFO?
I am.
Oh, you are? Awesome.
Love
I won't
it.
hold it against you.
Okay.
Life is short. Let's have fun.
Sometimes.
There you go. All
Sorry.
right. I don't know what FP&A is, so all right.
We all wear lots of different hats.
Yes,
as
we do.
entrepreneurs. That's the metaphor.
We have hats and slashes in our titles, right? Yeah. So anyway, so I decided I was going to try Mentimeter, and I went and looked at it, and it's a very low, entry level to invest in the basic. So I did it. I am a contract trainer, and I teach classes, about 80 classes a year. So I started using it and stuck my toe in, and now I'm all in. All right, so I'm going to have you participate in Mentimeter so that you can see. I do find it's interesting as a participant and as a leader of it is definitely 2 different things. So I'm going to go ahead and have you participate. So there's a couple ways to get to the Mentimeter link to participate. You can actually type in menti.com and let me share that. How about I share the screen first? Let's do that. Let me share my desktop. That might actually make things easier. There we go. You can do it one of 3 ways. You can open up your camera and just scan, hold your camera over this image on the screen, and it will pop. If you have a smart phone that has a QR scanner, like an iPhone, I know some of the others do, not all of them do, you can just hold your camera over. Don't take the picture. Just go ahead and hold it up, wait for the pop-up, and then you can click on the pop-up and it'll take you there. I'm also going to send you a link in the chat. The other option is you can click on this link in the chat, or you can just go to menti.com, menti.com, and use that 8-number code. But there's 3 ways to get there depending on your participants, and then we've always got at least 1 or 2 people that play hard to get. As if you've been using this, some people don't love technology. All right, so give me a thumbs up if you're in. Here's how and I'll show you on the back end how it looks too. But so I am in the GoToWebinar platform most of the days I present. So if you know that, I'm the only one on camera. No one has a microphone. I can give them a microphone, but I'm the only one on camera. So I literally am a talking head. When I started using this, I tried to move people the best I could out of the Q&A box on the GoToWebinar panel. So they're all here on the screen. It makes it much easier when you're a 1-woman or 1-man show to manage everything on one screen. So I personally do have multiple screens. So, and I'll show you in a little bit. I have the Menti-Mote, which is think PowerPoint presenter on my main screen. And then I'm presenting the full screen on another screen. And that's the screen I'm sharing with you. So I can read the questions on the Menti-Mote, the think PowerPoint presenter, and I see, I guess I'm in ? Or how do you use it to engage your audience? And I can read those questions and answer them and click them answered on my main screen, or I can click on them here and show them to everyone in the room. So when you participate on your device, you'll participate and then I display it or the presenter displays it on the main screen. Yeah, so the Q&A screen now on my screen is over that screen you're looking at on your device.
Okay.
Each time I forward the slide, you'll see the next slide on your device. So you can't control it, you can't drive it unless I give you permission, but I do presenter pace so that the participants cannot go ahead of me in class. There is an option when you're teaching that they can go at their own pace, but that means they're looking at a slide ahead of you showing it.
Yeah.
Do you use this in conjunction with PowerPoint or instead of PowerPoint?
So most of my classes, I just use Mentimeter all in. I have one class that is 200 slides. So I toggle back and forth, but most of my classes I've converted to 100% Mentimeter, and I'll show you what the different slides look like. You know, it depends on how much you like fancy PowerPoint or
I
you're
don't,
more
but I love
focused.
speaker notes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the one thing that's not available. So
Okay.
you can toggle. That's one option. All right. So I'm going to
Okay.
just click this, that this is done. Oh, mark is red. And then the next one is here. Mark is red. And then gotcha. All right. There we go. And then I'll close this. And then just to stop the confusion here, I'm going to click to the next slide. So now there's a question on your device for you to answer. So on your other browser window or the other device, you can just type an answer to this question. When it comes to speaking, leading, or presenting at an event, what does success look like for you? And mostly I'm doing this just so you can see the user experience and then see what happens on the screen. I'm going to admit this person.
Yeah, I love this one. The client I showed this to loved this one.
Yeah.
Because they said they're going to have like 100 people in this session. I was like, oh, I think this thing's going to come in handy.
Yes, absolutely. And then so one of you answered the question in the Q&A box, and that does happen. So when that in the beginning of class, what I'll tell people is to actually answer the question in the app, just close the Q&A box, hit the X, and then you'll be able to answer the question directly and have it show up on the screen. But I'll show you here. And this is probably one of the biggest confusions I notice when I have the Q&A on. Oops, seeing the lights come on. I think that was Mike. Was that you, Mike?
It was not.
Oh, wasn't?
But it doesn't
I feel like that's a mic. That is a mic answer though. So now you can see, now if there was a lot of people in the room, there's a couple different options here. You can have this scroll or you can control the scroll yourself. The only one I would recommend not to do is if you're in a room with 100 people is don't do the one at a time because you literally have to click to the next, to the next, to the next. That seems very tedious. This is cool. So now you notice you answered on your device. You cannot see the answers on your device. You can only see the answers on the shared screen. So this is another example of how you can ask questions. So this is ranking 5 different components of what you're looking for, what your outcome is desired. So now if you did not answer, you'll just click go to next slide. And then if you're on a small device, you can just click with your finger across and slide it across or your mouse to answer and rank each. And then the key is you have to hit submit so we can see the answers on the screen.
Hey, Kathy,
So-
when you're looking at each one of these, would you identify the template inside Mentimeter that you're using? Is there a specific template that you're using on each one? Because I know there's a lot of them that vary slightly in the results that you get on.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you guys the back end so you can see it. There is different options. So this, you could show like the overall average, which I did not choose for this. But the cool thing on this is you can hover over one of these answers, click on it, and then it shows you where everybody scored it. Yeah, so that's kind of cool, especially when you are trying to get agreement, you can see what the range of agreement is. So that's just kind of a cool thing.
I have a question.
Here. Yeah.
Does it save the responses?
It does. You don't know who responded how, but you do have after the fact. So one thing I'm going to let you guys do is I'm going to let you download this presentation at the end. And so since you already have a Mentimeter account, you're going to be able to add it to your Mentimeter library. And then you'll have these slides in your library that you can feel free to use them as part of a template. So that's and this I use occasionally. It depends on your patience level, right? So the more you ask for responses to, the longer you have to be patient to wait. And that's probably the hardest thing is we're used to immediate responses in a classroom, and virtually you have to just kind of fill in the blanks and find your pace. This is the next one I want to show. This is more of like a quiz type where there's a correct answer, although any of these could be fun to answer, but there is an actual correct answer on this one. So go ahead and pick which one you think is correct. And I, pay attention to my National Speakers Association's friends on how to add humor to presentations. So hence because I can't get any responses from any faces. So I just imagine they think this is hysterical. All right. And then to show the correct answer, I just hover over the screen with my mouse and I hit enter, and then it highlights the correct answer.
Okay.
So this is a way where you can check knowledge. You can go back and reiterate a point if you had a lot of people answer it wrong, which does happen sometimes with some of the content I teach. I thought I did a really good job or the video did a great job. And I'm like, ooh, missed that one. So this is just kind of a
There's
cool
a lot of
feature.
idiots out there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, Ben, did you have a question?
Now, the one thing I'm seeing on that is you just said doing this with a video. So many times you're using your Mentimeter to gauge out the questions you're setting up for when you do the video. So you're looking at the participation rather than putting it in the question box. I like
Yeah, well,
that.
so yeah,
like that
like,
a lot.
or like, like how some of the videos that we can use, they have
Yeah.
the quizzes at the end. Yeah, I just,
Mhm.
because the polls tortured me, right? So, and I
Yes.
think one of the advantages of this, if you work on platforms or use platforms where you have to reload the polls every time, this,
Mhm.
after you have a presentation ready, all you have to do is duplicate it and you just have this, it's clean and ready to go. Or
I
you
like that.
you can reset it and just use the old one. I'm a little bit of a pack rat of responses. So I have
Mhm.
been yet to delete a presentation that has responses in it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
I had a small group about this size as an on-site, and we used GoToWebinar, but we made it like Zoom. And so I
Yeah.
couldn't use any of the polls I'd set up because once someone becomes an organizer or a
Yes.
panelist, they can't respond. And that was,
Correct.
I didn't even know that until it hit, and it
Yeah.
just killed me. So being
No.
able to use this in that way, it wasn't something I'd even considered doing it. I really like that.
Yeah, and I don't use the polls. I mean, I'm done with the polls.
Yeah.
They're too hard. The answer is yes. This tool definitely helps you engage your audience. And here's the cool thing. So Mentimeter was started out to be really used virtually, but also in person on the stage. Many speakers have been using this on the main stage, people with their devices, because they're looking at their phones anyways. They were having them on their phones and interacting with them on a main stage. So you can still do that. And the cool thing is now, if you're doing a hybrid, you can bring the virtual and the live audience together. And I think that's one of the coolest aspects of this. I shared this tool at my local NSA meeting, and we have hybrid. And so the people on Zoom and the people in the room could all see each other's answers. And that's one of the cool features. So it can engage your audience in any environment, on any platform, anywhere. And so I just put the list of them here. You can use this in any environment. As long as you can share your screen, you can use Mentimeter in any environment. So here is the next question. This is just to demonstrate the fun of Mentimeter. Any tool can be still boring if you don't fully leverage it. So this is an example of how you can use images to make the questions more interesting or more visual. These images all came from the Mentimeter platform. They have Unsplash images that you can use at no charge. They're royalty free, or you can import your own images. This is a list. This actually came from the Mentimeter website. It's to create interactive presentations wherever, I change a little bit, wherever they are, your audience, and wherever you are, just making that point that you can be virtual, you can be on the stage, you can be in hybrid. The main types of questions or interactions are live polls, quizzes, word clouds, and Q&As. And then somebody did see the thumbs up down there. I do have everything turned on as far as the interactions. You can turn those on or off. It's your choice. You don't even have to have Q&A turned on. There's another option of comments. The comment kind of pops up and goes away. And I turned that off because I always miss those. And depending on the color of the screen, sometimes I don't see the words. So this is another advanced slide that I'm going to show you. So this is, speaking of where you are, and you can be anywhere, is you can grab the pin and drag it onto your state. Now, if anybody's in Canada, I'm sorry, I did remove the world map from this, and I got in trouble the other day when I did this because I had 3 Canadians in the room. So if you're in Canada, just put a pin up above Michigan somewhere, or up above Montana.
I got to be smarter than the dot, but I'm not smarter than the dot right now.
So
It's not.
that's okay, Mike.
It's not moving. Is it moving for everybody else?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
far we
We
got
don't have any
it
problem
did
down here in
not-
Texas. We
I
can
love
pin
this.
stuff in Texas.
right.
It did not move with my.
I'm in Colorado. We're a little
mouse.
flighty here.
I've asked this question a million times, but I've never had this option, which I'm assuming
Yeah.
is going to populate in a minute here.
So I think that was Keith. You said your mouse didn't work with it either.
My mouse did not work with it,
Okay.
but I have a touch screen on that screen, so I was able to
Yeah.
work it on with touch.
And I'm
screen.
doing mine on my phone, not on my computer. That might have made it much
I may
easier
have
to
to-
do.
Yeah, I may have to test that out.
Hey, Kathy. So I have a
Yeah.
finger pad thing and it didn't
Yeah.
work, but the touch screen did work immediately. So thanks for that tip.
Huh.
Who was that?
All
Who
right.
gave me that tip? Is that Ben?
That was Ben.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Ben.
you're
And that-
welcome.
And for you, Kathy, as a presenter,
This is an advanced slide. I use this in my classes with the DISC personality test. You can use it for different types of things. You know, the most common is where you are, but if you're trying to have them, actually, I
You
had
would be able to
Becky.
do 2 of them at one time, would you?
No,
Then
I'm
they
actually,
do.
I have a question out to them because Becky, a gal that was in the class the other day, asked if people could say what states are in because she teaches payroll law. And I've not gotten an answer back on that, but I don't think you can do more than one pin, but I am researching that. So once I get that answer, I'll definitely let you know with the follow-up email.
One of my
You can do
biggest
multiple
things
answer questions though, right?
Pardon
Just
me?
not, you can do multiple answer questions though, right? Just not with the visual
Yes.
pinning like this.
Yeah. From what I've seen with the pinning, because I've looked on the tool and I send them a question, but for my mess playing around in the back end, I can't see a way to do 2.
Can we use this with a different image? Can I use my own image?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can put any image you want. Like the first
Yeah.
time I did it, I put different colors and I said, what's your favorite color? I put the 4 disc personalities up and had people claim their primary disc personality.
Do you have
So
to
if there's a
outline the
single-
state, or is it you just put a dot on whatever the image is?
You just put a dot on whatever
Just a
the
dot.
image is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is, I imported a picture of the United States. Yep, you could import that as an image, a JPEG, and stick that on there.
And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what I'm
And-
trying to. The reason why I asked twice is because every entry that they make has a green side and an orange side. But
Mm,
I could do
Yeah.
one picture. Okay, where are we going to put the green one?
Yep,
And then the next slide, where are we going to put the orange one?
yep, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then I had I was talking with another one of the trainers I know, Jamie Swindell, who teaches Excel. And they asked questions like, where on the Excel spreadsheet is this particular item? He could put a picture of an Excel spreadsheet up there and have them pin it to see how many people. So it is
Cool.
a
This
fun,
is Jamie, the greatest.
yes.
I used to teach with Fred Pryor, so I love
right.
it. Yeah.
Oh, you're a Fred Pryor graduate too. Nice to meet you,
I
Ken.
used to teach for them, teach with
Yeah.
them for a couple years.
So this is another option. So this is multiple. So this is where you can answer multiple different responses. I have it set to percentage of people responding to this question. So this, and then this is a dots. I kind of like the dots. I use the bars, but the dots are kind of fun too. So you can just pick as many as you want and hit submit.
Are all the features you're showing, by the way, all available in the basic subscription?
Yeah, I have basic. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah. From what I can tell from the pro is you're going to be able to put more, you're going to be able to go and put your logo in there, and you're going to be
Yeah,
able to
branding.
pick colors that you want, a little bit, more personalization.
so Kathy, here's what I heard you say. When you're a total ninja, you can just use the base tools and be outstanding. Where
No, yeah. You can be a ninja with the basic level.
because some people think they need to have all the bells and whistles to be great at something. And I like to think if you're
No,
a good carpenter, you can use a couple of different tools and still make a really nice looking desk or something out of it.
and the only reason I'm a ninja is because I have a big head start on everyone else. So that's the only, so I'm always going to be a ninja to everyone else. So
Got it.
that has not used the tool yet. All right.
So it sounds to me like if you're branding your own product, you're
Mhm.
doing most of what you're doing is your own.
Yes.
Then the pro is going to give you the value of personal logos and customization. The basic doesn't give that to you. That sound about right?
Yep. And if
Okay.
you're doing presentations for other people and you want to brand it because you could probably, I would
with
guess,
their stuff.
maybe you could use their colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So order of magnitude, are we talking about base is $20 and pro is 200, or are we
100, 250
a year or month?
a year.
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
250 for pro
it's-
for the year.
250.
Yeah, it's
for-
like 120 for the basic.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
I
it's
was like, no
It's
brainer.
$10 a month,
Yeah.
$10 a month on the base, and it's 24. I just looked at the website, 24
Okay.
on the pro.
Yeah. And if
per
you're
month.
in education, there's a discount.
Well, I am. I know that. And you're
Yeah,
educating
I
me, so
am.
you are.
I'm in
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Right.
are, and that's why we get a lot of other benefits too.
I feel
Yeah.
like such a rookie now, just from that one tidbit.
I'm a ninja.
Way to go, noob, John.
Yeah. Right. Here's another just quick question. Just you can entertain me and pop an answer in here, and then we'll move on. It's just one more question. So what would it mean for you and your audience if you delivered an engaging, interactive, and personalized experience in personal or virtually every time? And I think the cool thing is that even and this is a word cloud, so you can just see a different way of displaying the information. The cool thing about this is you're going to teach what you're going to teach anyways, but in a long day, what I find is that when I can ask questions up front, I know which information I can go faster on or skip a page I can skip. Like one of the classes I teach is I teach mostly leadership, but I do teach safety, front desk safety and security. And there's a couple topics in that class that I don't want to cover, like how to protect proprietary information, so usually nobody votes on that. So I can skip that page at the end of the day. So this is a word cloud, and I'm going to show you a word cloud with 100 respondents. You can kind of see what it looks like. The bigger the word, the more people typed it in. So in theory, more than one person typed in fun. And I will tell you this, that I've had trainers tell me that the best thing about this tool is it's fun for them. So they're having more fun, so they're getting better results. All right, so just to reiterate, if you can share your screen, you can use Mentimeter on any platform and in person. Here's what people are saying. I love Mentimeter, and so does my audience. Oh my God, the Mentimeter is so much fun for me. Thank you. My attendees are much more engaged. Here's what happened to me. I've been using Mentimeter in my classes, but also in other presentations I'm doing. And whenever there's a speaker in the room or a trainer in the room, they don't hear one thing I say. And they're like, what was that tool you were using? And I'm like, oh, for the love of God, did you hear my questions that leaders should be asking themselves when they're dealing with the pandemic? Because those are really good questions about your business. No, I just want to know what that tool was. So I started coaching people. So these are just from some of the people I was working with. And then this is one of my good friends who's a coach, trainer, and speaker. Mentimeter has helped raise the engagement in my keynotes, trainings, mastermind group. I love it. And Kathy is the go-to expert. She didn't say I was a ninja. I don't know why. I should have told her to put ninja in there. It can be used in many different situations. One of the other things you can do is you can use it for pre-event gathering of information, post-event, because you can set the Mentimeter to self-paced and use it like a survey also. So I thought that's kind of cool. And she's been using it different ways. And then this actually, so Ben knows Chuck. I did just a quick introduction to him, and he went and figured out how to use it on his own, but he used it at an onsite, and the onsite gave this feedback. And then the next question was, are they going to use Mentimeter at the next onsite? And it was other trainers. So maybe not, because not everybody's using it. This is what the participants are saying. I asked these questions in the first 5 or 6 classes that I taught. This was a class, 114 participants on the Mentimeter. And I asked these 3 questions about 5 or 6 times, and I stopped asking them for feedback. I just wanted to make sure that it was making the class better. So these are real participants. So here's how you get started. You get the basic plan. So $84 is the education price, or $120 is the professional. They're basically the same. If you go to the next level, the pro, there's a couple things that are different, but probably not noticeable. And then there's a couple different ways to dive in. So initially I did about 40 slides in Mentimeter, just the interaction slides, and a PowerPoint. Now, if you have a Mac, you can slide back and forth. So I can literally do this on my screen. Oops. And I can go from PowerPoint to Mentimeter with the slide of 2 fingers on the mouse. I think the PCs, you can do something similar. It's just, I don't want to rub in how great the Macs are, but literally 2 fingers across my mouse and boom. And I have the magic mouse, which sometimes is not so magic. So you can go back. You can import PowerPoint slides into Mentimeter. It loses all of the bells and whistles. So it's like importing an image. That's one option. You can build the presentation in Mentimeter. So I was originally importing some slides and then adding engagement. And I was going back and forth from PowerPoint to Mentimeter. And then I started building all of my presentations in Mentimeter. Of the 8 or 9 classes that they bounced me around in, all of them, I'm 100% Mentimeter except for one. And then let me find my mouse because my magic mouse does like to hide. There we go. There we go.
Where's your dog?
She's sleeping
Where's
on the
she?
pillow.
Let us see.
After, Mike, stop.
Okay.
All right. So you can toggle between Mentimeter and PowerPoint or Keynote, but this does take mad skills. That's my disclaimer. You know, if for those of you that are presenting all the time, probably no problem. Somebody that's more just kind of getting into training and presenting, the toggling back and forth causes stress. So that's why I would say you can put your toe in, but if you can get all Mentimeter and you can live without the fancy animation of PowerPoint, I feel like the engagement and the interaction is, the payoff is very high there. So I'm just going to keep going and show you a couple.
Though, like I just started using it, but with 2 monitors, it really makes that a lot easier. I can see it is a little more work going back and forth, but with 2 monitors, it's a lot.
And the one thing I do, because I had to give up the notes on the PowerPoint when I'm not using PowerPoint, is I did export my presentation as a PDF, the Mentimeter, because you can export it as a PDF, and I keep the backup on the side. So if I feel like I'm lost, I can just scroll through the PDF and see where I'm at or how far I have to go. Here's the type of slides that you can create: popular questions, quiz, competitions, content slides, and advanced questions. So the point on the map is an advanced. The content slides are, this slide is a content slide. So the bullets, titles, quotes. The quiz competition, I've used this one time and I was like, whoa. And it was just too much, too tedious for me. But if you can do competitions, people can give themselves a name. They can participate in quiz questions that are timed, and there can be winners. So you can do that. I don't do it.
Teams.
I don't think so. I don't know, but I haven't dug into the quizzes enough, but I don't think so because every person's logged in individually.
Yeah.
Okay. There was some, I don't remember the app. I'll think of it later, but
Kahoots?
no, I think it's C3 Softworks. They sell a suite of 6 games, but it's like $1,500 a year subscription. So that I think that's why when I saw Mentimeter, I was like, duh, no brainer.
Yeah. Well, you could, if you're doing on Zoom, you could put them into breakout rooms and have them one person name the answers as a breakout room title, and then they could play in teams like that, just off the top of my head. All right, so this is what it looks like to add a new slide, but I'm going to take you guys in the back end live. So this is what it looks like in the back end. So it kind of looks like PowerPoint. The slides you have are on the left, the slide you're working on is the middle, and the different slide choices are on the right. So there's type, quiz, competition, content slides, and advanced is down below. And then once you pick the slide type, this is an open-ended, then you can go and say, okay, I can stick it. You put the question in, you can put an image in there, and you can choose how you want it to show up: speech bubbles, 1 by 1, or flowing grid. If you're going to have hundreds of people, you might want to do the speech bubbles and control the flow. Or if you're not really worried about the flow, because it can get kind of crazy, you'll see it flowing and you can lose the sentence, then you could, if you don't mind that, you can do the flowing grid. It's kind of cool. This is a screenshot of what it looks like. So you can ask upfront questions to personalize your presentation, what their goals are.
Is everything you as a presenter are doing on the mouse?
Yes.
Okay, so you could use a clicker. If you're live in person, you could walk around and use a clicker.
No, you can use an iPhone or an iPad or a device. So
now, are you talking about as a presenter or as a user?
I'm talking about as a presenter, just using one of these instead of your mouse, so you can walk around.
You can use a smart device.
Okay, so just use your phone instead.
So you're going to log in to Mentimeter on your device. So here's Mentimeter on my iPad. I'm going to click on my presentations, and I'm going to show you guys this in the back end too in a second. I'm going to go into the presentation I'm in.
So you took over the same presentation on your iPad just by logging in?
I'm working on it. Yep.
Okay.
It's this one.
So that's pretty cool. That's
yeah.
to
So
be able
you
to make
can
the smooth
drive,
transition.
you can drive holding your phone or your smart device in front of the room. Is this the right one? Yep. So I'm going
That's
to click.
huge if you have a PC issue.
Yeah, I'm going to click
just as a
on
backup.
Mentimeter. And so this is what it,
Is that an app or a browser window?
it's the browser window.
Okay, so they do not have an app now.
They do have an app for the attendees. I
Okay.
do not use the app to drive. I use the browser window. So this is what it looks like. And I either have that open on my computer, or if I'm in front of a room, I can use this. So if I click next here, it drives it.
Wait, so you said you went to Mentimeter, not Mentimeter.com?
So you're on Mentimeter.com, and I'll show you in a second how to get there. I'll show you in a second. We're going to go
Okay.
in the live. So this is a collaboration. So I try not to be the smartest person in the room. So I'll ask questions and have the smarter people in the room give
Me too.
answers, because I don't want to just be somebody giving the answers. So I draw the answers out of the class by asking questions to get their expertise. So that's another way you can use it to create that interaction. And then I already showed you, this is a different way of doing the disc personalities. You know, these are bars instead of the dots, but just another way to show you how you can gather information to better know your audience. So I do ask questions that help me teach, but also help me know who's in the room. This is another example of the quiz results that I already showed you earlier. There were people that got it wrong. So, you know, I can go back and touch on that point. This is a huge word cloud when you've got, 86 people in the room. And this is confirming to me that my seeds got dropped, because the leaders are readers, and confidence and mindset and 5-second rule and be decisive are seeds I'm dropping. Yeah.
Hey, Kathy, can I ask a technical question, since you had some back end
Yeah.
stuff there? So a lot of what we do, sometimes we want people to be direct and have their name associated with an answer or a response. And then sometimes I don't even want to know, like, I don't care. And I think you get a different reaction out of people when they're anonymous versus they're not. Is it always anonymous, or do I have to work to find out who said what? Is there a way to let them feel comfortable that say what you want because I can't tell, or is everything tracked so I can tell and they know it? Like,
it is anonymous, but you could ask at the beginning of the class for them to give you their name. You can hide those results on the main screen and just have them put their name in on the first slide. And then you can export the results in an Excel spreadsheet. You won't be able to see live.
But then their answer to number one, which is their name, and then they answer to number two, and it goes all across. So if I don't want to know, if I say, listen, I can't find out, so don't even give me your name when you're responding, nothing. I could get completely anonymous responses all the way through, and that would hopefully liberate people to just be, just say what you think. Okay.
And I have found that in the classes that I have less leaders in, I get a lot more interaction than a class that I don't, that normally in person, people would not interact. Like now in front desk safety security, normally people are like hiding in the room. Now they're, because they don't have, they're anonymous.
Those testimonials you showed us earlier, did you use this to get the testimonials, like at the end or somewhere throughout? Because it seems like this would be a good way to capture them.
No, but you can. So I do ask questions at the end of the day, like, what are 2 words to describe how you feel about your leadership future? How do you feel about the class? You can definitely capture those at the end. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. You can also do, so I share this for those of you that are geeky and like research and development. You can ask questions and start collecting data on people. So this is there's a number out there that says 20% of women never negotiate their salary ever. And I've actually been asking this question for about 8 months. And I can tell you it's more like 50% of women have never negotiated their salary ever, at least the women I see. If you want to do any research and development, I think this is one of the really cool things that you can do it while you're teaching without people even knowing. And then there's another aspect that I did not share here. You can have one answer be segmented by a previous answer. So you can do segmentation. So if there's leaders and like managers, supervisors, or different levels of experience, you can ask that question up front. And then you can ask another question and have it parsed out based on that previous question. So that's really cool for the really techie, geeky numbers people.
Could you give an example of how you would use that?
So I get
the idea, but I'm not sure.
I was asking a question of, okay, what position are you in? C-suite, middle management, supervisory level, line level. And then I would ask a question like, how often do you take live classes? And so then it would show who, you know, based on that previous question, it would demonstrate it based on changing the bubble colors on those answers.
So it would show like X% of each category answered for that second question a certain way.
You'll see,
first?
like you'll see the second question, it'll have a little grid out to the side, C-suite, middle level management, supervisors,
Okay, yeah,
line level,
gotcha.
and then it will have a color, and then those colored bubbles match that. It's like a little grid. So you could be
That's pretty
asking it,
cool.
they may not understand the point of it, but you could be doing research on your participants that way.
Yeah, I could see that how that would help for a private delivery when, especially if they have like different departments or different job titles, because that then gives them
Yeah.
that feedback. And Mike, to your point, if it's anonymous,
Yes.
they might be more willing then to speak up in a meeting.
Some people are shy.
Yeah, they are
not
shy.
Me, not me.
So this is the Mentimeter, what it looks like. All right, but I'm going to show you how to get to it so that you can get to it. So I could see the questions if they were here on the right. I can see the current slide I'm in and the next one I'm going to. And then these, I don't really do anything over here with these toggles. I just let it go itself, but you can turn the Q&A off if you want and just shut it off at some point. If you're done, or you maybe you've got one person that's just being obnoxious, you could just turn it off. You can turn the comments on. I don't use the comments because they just kind of come in and out and they float by so fast I never notice them. So this is what that looks like. And then I would just say, you know, I just put this in here. Do you guys call it a GIF or a GIF? There are GIFs or GIFs in Mentimeter that you could pop in. This is one of theirs just to have some fun and, you know, make our presentations better. So I'm going to assume you want to see the tool so you don't have to wait. You don't have to say yes. I'm going to go up here and hope I can get to the right tab. Where is my, oh, there we go. All right. We're going to go to the demo.
Oh, yeah.
So this is, I'm going to go back to full screen. So this is a demo presentation I did, same presentation we're doing, just to show you. So this is the back end. What you look like. So if I click over here on the left, it takes me to the different slides. All right. So here's where this is the type of question. So this is a bullet, right? That I was on. Here's where you can add bullets, move them around. You can drag them up and down. You can say that you want to show, it does default to showing all the bullets at once. They just made this change. And I'm like, everyone knows that you do one bullet at a time. You've gone against what everybody knows, but you can uncheck that and it will show one bullet at a time. Or you can say you want a numbered list and it changes the numbers. And then this is where I add those reactions here. You can uncheck them and it takes them away. So who wants a thumbs down? I always take the thumb. I don't turn the thumbs down on. And then I'm going to go to another image. So then here's the scales. The type is the slider scales. You could do a spider chart. I've never done that. It doesn't make sense to me. And then these are the questions. And then down below, you can set what the labels mean. So I put don't care, it's a must. You can let them skip one. So I did set that. So in case somebody didn't want to answer one because they don't like my humor, fainting and throwing up, they don't have to answer that one. And then you can show totals, but I don't ever show the totals for all. You can set the value to 1 to 10, 1 to 7, 1 to 5, whatever you want. So that's kind of cool. Or just 1 to 2, you know, it's yes or no. You can stick an image in there if you'd like. And I'm going to show you an image slide. So the image slides, this is one of the cool features of this. So it's not, every slide is not the same. Under customize, you can change where the image is. So you can make it a square. You can make it the left side. You can make it the right side. You can make it thinner, which doesn't work with the yes on either side. So this is just kind of cool. So every slide isn't generic. And then the Mentimeter. So that was like the big question. How do you get to it? So to get to the Mentimeter, up here at the top right, you click on Mentimeter and it opens up the Mentimeters where you're at on the presentation.
I think I opened mine accidentally one time and I was trying, it's like, what is this? Where'd this come from?
Yeah. So I have Mentimeter open on one screen and I have the full screen on another. And that's how I drive it. So let's see, I'm going to go back or not.
So you were saying as this goes, it is in fact saving all the responses. And did you say you can export those to Excel?
Yeah.
That's how
so
you're doing like the research questions?
Yeah, let me see if I can get my darn. So let me show you guys the results for, actually, let me do it here. Let me go back to the demo. So the demo, I'm going to click at my presentations up here. You can create folders also. So I have different classes listed here. I just have all these in here. So we're going to click on this one again that we're in. To share it, you can export the results here with the share. So you can go to the second tab, presentation sharing. You can do it with a link, or you can do an export and go to the download center. And that's where your options are to get it in Excel. All right. And you could send a link to people too if you wanted. And then so you can see the answers are in here right now. There's your answers when I view it. And they will be in there until I would either, so you can download the results over here also, or until I reset. Any other questions about any of that?
So once I reset it, then it's just back to, I can start the presentation over.
Yep. And then it'll give, within 48 hours, it'll give you a new QR code. Yeah.
If you go back to something where people have already responded, will it just add a new response if they give one, or does
if
it
they
reset
refresh? So yeah, the questions do close out. So if I were to go back, let me go. If I were to go back, let's go back to actually, let's not do that. It's too far back. So if I were to go forward and then go back. So right now, if you went to this screen, you would be stuck. You wouldn't be able to go back. But if I were to go back and you refreshed your browser, you would be able to go back. And if I allowed you to do, like if you have an answer, it'll let you answer. It won't let you answer a second time, I don't believe, but you can answer if you missed the option to
so
answer.
you can set it so that they don't go back and accidentally like screw up your data if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you want it. So in the settings, you can set self-paced or presenter paced. So I always do presenter pace. I have done a couple times, like I'm a Toastmaster and we were getting feedback for speakers. So I set it to the user pace. So I didn't have to hold them up giving responses and typing in feedback for the speakers. But most cases I do presenter pace. I am working on a program that I sent out a survey in advance and did self-paced to get feedback. So I just sent them a link and they can just take it on their own. They don't even need me. So I'm using it like a survey also, which is kind of cool. So we already covered the Excel export. I will tell you this, the Excel spreadsheet is clunky. It's clunky, but it's data. So, I probably would never go through those Excel spreadsheets. I'd probably give them to some VA to go and take the data for me. Because when you have all the answers and everything in there and you have 100 slides, it's a little overwhelming. So I would say if you're going to use it for data, I would even consider being really focused and having a smaller number of slides so you're not overwhelmed with 100 columns of information. Plus, I've noticed the more people in it with the more slides, the data there is some answers in one column that belonged in a previous because there's some delays. So I would say be really laser focused if you're going to use the data and have less slides, get good quality data, and then definitely download it as soon as you can. I feel like Mentimeter is for you if audience engagement is something that you value, if you're currently presenting, if you enjoy interacting with your audience and you're kind of missing that and you're willing to learn, there's a toe in or dive in. I am offering a coaching program, so I just want to share that with you. It's really just me helping people get further along faster because I've been on this journey since July. And I'm amazed. I just learned about the QR codes like 3 weeks ago. So I've learned, I've been picking up all these tidbits and the bells and whistles along the way. So I just want to share with you that as an option. You can certainly do this on your own. I did it and I survived it. So thank you for watching this replay of the Be an Engagement Ninja overview. I hope you choose to come along with us in the group coaching program. But if not, I wish you the best of luck and reach out to me anytime. I look forward to hearing from you.